You're not stuck because of your circumstances. You're stuck because of how you think about your circumstances. And that's either the most depressing realization or the most liberating one you'll ever have. Because if your mind is the problem, your mind is also the solution. You don't need the world to change. You don't need other people to change. You just need to recognize that the bars on your cage aren't real. They're thoughts, beliefs, stories you've told yourself so many times. They feel like concrete walls. But thoughts aren't walls. They read just electrical signals in your brain that you have the power to change the moment you stop treating them like facts. Here's the trap most people live in their entire lives. They believe their thoughts are reality. Something pops into their head and they accept it as truth without question. I'm not good enough. It's too late for me. I can't change. This is just who I am. These aren't observations about reality. They're interpretations, opinions, mental habits that became default settings. But you're walking around treating them like laws of physics. And as long as you do that, you'll stay exactly where you are. Not because you have to, because you think you have to. Let me show you how the prison works. You have an experience. Maybe you tried something and it didn't work out. Maybe someone rejected you. Maybe you failed publicly. That's just data. A thing that happened. But your mind doesn't leave it there. Your mind creates a story about what it means. I failed because I'm not smart enough. They rejected me because something's wrong with me. I shouldn't try again because I'll just fail worse next time. None of those conclusions are facts. They're interpretations. And you chose them, usually without realizing you were choosing. Once that story is created, your brain looks for evidence to support it. This is called confirmation bias. And it's one of the strongest cognitive patterns humans have. If you believe you're not smart enough, your brain will highlight every mistake you make and ignore every success. If you believe people don't like you, you'll notice every awkward interaction and miss every genuine connection. You're not seeing reality. You're seeing a filtered version designed to confirm what you already believe. And the more evidence you collect, the more convinced you become. The prison gets smaller. The walls feel more real. But here's what breaks everything open. You can choose a different story. Same facts, different interpretation. You didn't fail because you're inadequate. You failed because you tried something difficult, and learning takes time. They didn't reject you because you're defective. They rejected you because you weren't the right fit for what they needed. You shouldn't give up. You should adjust your approach and try again. These interpretations are just as valid as the negative ones. Actually, they're more valid because they're based on possibility instead of limitation. But your brain won't default to them because your brain is wired for survival, not happiness. It would rather keep you safe and miserable than let you risk growth. The simple lesson that sets you free is this. You are not your thoughts. You're the person hearing the thoughts. And just like you can hear a song on the radio and choose not to sing along, you can hear a thought in your mind and choose not to believe it. A thought is just a mental event. It has no power except the power you give it by treating it as truth. The moment you recognize this, the moment you create space between yourself and your thinking, everything changes. Start practicing observation instead of identification when a limiting thought appears. Don't fight it. Don't argue with it, just notice. Italiano. Oh, there's the thought that I'm not good enough. See it. Acknowledge it. Then ask, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Is it moving me toward the life I want or keeping me stuck? If it's not useful, let it go. You don't need to replace it with a positive thought. You don't need to affirm your way out of it. You just need to stop giving it your energy and attention. Here's what this looks like in practice. You're about to do something scary. Your mind says you're going to fail. Old version of you believes that and doesn't try. New version of you notices the thought and says, thanks for the input, but I'm doing it anyway. The thought doesn't disappear, but it stops controlling you. You act in spite of the fear instead of because of the confidence. And every time you do that, you prove to yourself that thoughts are suggestions, not commands. Another practice. Question your stories when you catch yourself thinking something limiting. Ask, is that actually true? Most of the time, the answer is no. Or at least, not definitely. I always mess things up. It is not true. You've messed some things up and succeeded at others. Nobody likes me. is not true. Some people do, some don't. Most haven't formed an opinion. I can't change is definitely not true. You've changed 1,000 times already, just by living. Your brain tells you absolutes, because absolutes feel safe, but they're almost never accurate. You also need to feed your mind different information. If you're constantly consuming content that reinforces your limitations, talking to people who validate your victimhood, replaying your failures on loop, your mind will keep building the same prison. Start feeding it evidence of possibility. Stories of people who started where you are and got where you want to be. Ideas that challenge your assumptions. Experiences that prove you're more capable than you think. Your mind will build whatever structure you give it materials for. Stop handing it bricks and bars. The truth is, most of your limitations are inherited. Beliefs you absorb from parents, teachers, culture, past experiences. You didn't choose them consciously. They were installed when you were too young or too hurt to question them. But you're not young anymore. You're not powerless. You have the ability right now to examine every belief you hold and decide if you want to keep it. Does this belief serve me? Does it make my life better? Does it help me grow? If not, you can let it go. Not instantly, but gradually, with practice and intention. Here's the final piece. Freedom isn't about having no limits. It's about recognizing which limits are real and which ones are imaginary. You can't fly by flapping your arms. That's a real limit. But you can start a business. You can learn a new skill. You can leave a bad situation. You can build better relationships. You can change your life. Those aren't real limits. Those are just thoughts you've been believing for too long. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. But like any tool, it can build or destroy depending on how you use it. Right now, you're using it to construct a prison. Same tool can construct a life. You just have to stop believing every thought that passes through and start choosing which ones deserve your attention. That's the key. That's the lesson. That's how you set yourself free.